Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. He is Jamal Lawrence. I am Eric Smith, your
Yo,
co-host
yo.
of the Colts Cast. Hey, I
Talk
kept
that greasy
quiet.
talk.
Well, we didn't say nothing. We didn't say nothing to the Raiders fans that came in our pod last episode. But Raiders Nation, who?
Bruh.
Yeah. the Indianapolis Colts take down the Las Vegas Raiders at home 23-20 in a must-win territory, essentially, eliminating the Raiders from the playoffs in the process. All those Raiders fans who came for us, talk that talk. Where y'all at now? Let me know what y'all order from Pizza Hut in a few weeks. I heard they got eliminated from postseason special going on. Hey, all jokes aside, let's talk about the Colts. The Colts aren't in the clear yet.
No.
We have about a 50% chance to make the playoffs at this point, and it really hinges on this Bengals-Chiefs game that's going on right now. Looks like Bengals are up 17-13 at half. Wow, shocker. Chiefs losing at home. So if the Chiefs end up beating the Bengals today, the Colts can make the playoffs with just a win. So they'll be able to control their own destiny. My mind will settle well knowing that we just have to beat the Texans next week. But if the Bengals do end up winning, the playoff picture gets a little murky for us, and there's caveats. I don't like that because I just want a clear path to victory, and that starts with the Bengals losing tonight. But let's talk about this win, though. Jamal, let's switch it up. We always start with the offense. Let's start with the defense first.
Bet. Hey, before we get into defense, though, hey, y'all listening. We know you're here for one reason. That's to learn about Colts Nation and this W. So go ahead and please make sure you like, subscribe, comment below your thoughts on this game because we're about to break it all down for you right here, Eric. Go ahead and talk about the defense.
All that. Well, so it feels like every time we lose, we get some fans who just fire Gus Bradley, because the defense ends up playing, not great or poorly. But today, I thought they held their ground pretty well, up until that fourth quarter, because we're playing that soft coverage, Gus Bradley, which in my opinion, you play that soft coverage when you have 6 to 7 minutes left. Yeah, you give up 10 yards of play, but look, they're not scoring a touchdown, yada, yada. I thought it was fine, but, through 3 quarters, we limited them to 10 points. 10 points. I thought the defense played really well today. First of all, we were without Kenny Moore, Julian Blackman, Rodney Thomas. He barely saw snaps today. And we only gave up 20 points on the day. I thought that's a pretty good day, given the circumstances. We couldn't really stop them on 3rd and long. I thought it was really weird. It felt like every 3rd and 18, 3rd and 19 they would convert. A lot of inconsistent tackling things we saw last week. The screenplays, we can't stop those. I didn't understand that, but the defensive line, they played well today, and I feel like when they do, we always get a win. So shout out to the defensive line. They got 2 crucial sacks on Aiden O'Connell. They were sending the pressure. Shout out to my guy DeForest Buckner. He only had 1 sack, but he was pressuring the quarterback like crazy. So was this entire defensive line. Can't always just go by the sacks. I did take this note. Gus Bradley did blitz today, so I do have that note down where he actually blitzed.
He did. And it was crazy. I'm sure just probably watching on TV, but you always knew at the game that he was about to blitz because Grant Stewart came in the game. Every time Grant came in on 3rd down, it was a blitz. Soft coverage across the middle, and that's why they were getting those, because they were sending something, and the middle was just wide open. But it was kind of obvious whenever Grant came in there, you knew what time it was. So we got to fix that in future, because I definitely knew. Yeah, very predictable with that. But nonetheless, was glad to see the blitz was there, even though it wasn't as effective as we probably would expect it. Glad to see it was there. Keep going, dog.
I will say, I thought the Colts stadium was live. I'm watching from my couch. Jamal, I don't know how that stadium was when you were in there, but I want to give a big shout out to the Indianapolis Colts fans who showed up today, because everyone might not agree with me here, but 3 false starts on the Raiders in the first half, that, you can say it's just undisciplined by the Raiders, but I feel like the crowd plays into those false starts. I've seen it before. So shout out to the fans. They were really out here today.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was jumping in there. It was jumping in there today. It was loud. It was especially, I mean, when they get the music going, everybody was getting pumped. Everybody's getting hyped. So they did what they needed to today. So shout out, shout out.
Yeah, Colts fans, awesome. Juju Brents, he's definitely one of my defensive MVPs today. So here's the catch. Devontae Adams had 13 catches for 126 yards, but he was targeted 21 times. I mean, when
That's
you give
wild.
Yeah, you give one of the best receivers in the NFL that many targets, he's going to have over 100 yards. He had 2 touchdowns as well. Devontae Adams was having a day, but I will say Juju Brents got him on a lot of plays. He made a lot of great plays today, like a few good plays. Remember in the first quarter, he forced a pass deflection that saved them from getting a touchdown, and they ended up with a field goal. I think there was another one. Maybe it was Jalen Jones, but I thought we were making plays on the defensive side from our secondary, which, with all the losses on the secondary, you're like, man, O'Connell might rip us up. But that didn't really happen. Despite when you look at the box score, O'Connell threw the ball 47 times. So I can see why he has 299 yards. It just wasn't efficient to me. So shout out to the secondary for holding it down. Jalen Jones should have had that pick 6.
Yeah, that was a weak call.
Yeah, I get why the refs call that. Like he grabbed his shirt, one hand, you can clearly see it. But I could see the refs also not calling that in another situation. So weak DPI, coming from a biased Colts fan, because that would have been a game changer in the fourth quarter. That I would have called probably game there, just with how our defense was playing. But man, you got to give it up to this defense. I thought they were on point today. Some might not agree with me, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and kind of going back to what you were just saying, I don't even want to call it garbage time because, I mean, obviously by the score 23-20, there was really no point of garbage time in this game. But like you mentioned, with Devontae Adams stats and even in Aiden Hutchinson stats, though, when it came to or O'Connell, thinking about last night's game, but
got a little too much bourbon flowing through.
Yeah, I think so, man. It was a great time at the game. Now, but O'Connell, when he was getting these passes at the end of the game to push them downfield, we were playing real soft coverage. We were allowing them to get these easy catches over the middle. So again, that's all those numbers.
Which is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You want them to get catches over the middle in the last 5 minutes of the game. That's going to turn the clock.
Yeah.
Look, they're going to let them have those 10-yard plays, 8-yard plays, because you're not going to score fast enough to be even a threat to us later on. So that's the idea behind that soft coverage that late.
Exactly.
That's what I see, and I'm sure you see that as well, Jamal.
Oh yeah, for sure. Shout out to the D. Great game overall. I mean, EJ 12 tackles, Zaire 10, Nick Cross 9. I mean, come on.
Nick Cross, baby.
They need to do.
It ain't no Sidon no more. He here.
Hey.
He here to stay, baby.
Yes, sir.
He's taking over. I believe they moved Rodney Harrison Jr. At safety as well. He came in and played a little linebacker, but he's listed as a safety, so that's his normal position. They're switching it up. They made changes. Our defense made changes. Of course, with some injuries as well, but I think Gus Bradley listened to us. He said, all right, I'll adapt this one time. I don't think this is happening all the time.
yeah. That's a one and done for him. I give him that.
Yeah. Offense, what do you got to say, Jamal?
Hey, man, I loved how it started off with his offense. The only thing we talked about how important it was for JT to take off and have a great game. We needed to be running from the very beginning. And guess what the Colts did on that first drive? They ran the ball from the very beginning. JT looked good for the first couple plays. Then insert the young man, Mr. Josh Downs himself. That 50-yard bomb, making it look easy out here. JT capping it off. Great first drive. That momentum, that's how you go. I wish we would have kept. I'm glad we got the dub. I wish that momentum would have stayed the entire time. I want that aggressive take the entire time. I feel like it slowed down a bit once it's after the second drive. slowed down quite a bit. We started going more pass heavy on that stuff. But JT finished with 21 carries, 96 yards. Of course, that touchdown. So he averaged 4.6. I like to think that the Braden Smith being back in there was a very comforting feeling for the offensive line. Very comforting feeling. One piece to that puzzle, again, guys, it's an accordion. So when one piece is off, it's all off. Doesn't matter. You can have 4 studs in there, but if one out of the 5 is not working, it don't matter. So now today we had a cohesive 5-piece in there, and it looked good overall. It looked real good. Minshew had time to throw in a lot of balls. JT was able to bust through the holes. Hey, Trey Sermon, he had a couple. That 27-yard one he had, explosive. Offense, in my opinion, was fine. I am completely fine with Minshew going 15 of 23 for 224 and a tutty. I mean, that one sack, we'll take that sack. I mean, we'll take that kind of stuff. So shout out to the O. I'm gonna let you talk about your boy because I know there's somebody you want to mention in particular. So I'm gonna let you have that thunder. But yeah, shout out to the O, man. They had a hell of a game. I like it.
Hey, look. Shane Steichen was clearly the better coach in this game. Nothing against Antonio Pierce. I think he's done a phenomenal job for what was given to him. But our guy is built different. I thought there was definitely a coaching advantage here. It was clearly seen. Gardner Minshew, yes, I will say he played fine throughout most of the game. I know there was one series where I thought he should go to jail for a little bit because he messed up on all 3 downs. He missed that free touchdown on the second offensive drive.
Yeah,
I'm sure everyone saw Alec Pierce.
My man was. I don't think there was a soul within 18,000 yards of him.
Safety did not see him at all. I mean, you have to think all these go routes that Pierce runs, and you have to wonder how many times he's actually been open this season. I guess we'd have to look at the All-22 film, and Minshew's just missed him or just doesn't feel confident, and that's going to change with Anthony Richardson when he comes back in 2024. Anthony Richardson can flick that thing with ease, 50 yards. So he's going to be looking for those big plays. But then, boy, Alec Pierce, he came to Gardner Minshew on the sideline. He said, "Look, you ever miss me like that again, you're going to get these hands in the locker room." And Minshew said, "My bad. I got you in a couple drives next drive. Once Shane Steichen rice it up, jaws it up, and then boom. What happened, Jamal? 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1.
And I was nervous when I saw the play action. I'm not gonna lie. The first thing I said was, here we go. I saw the play action and I got nervous. I got nervous. I was like, oh, damn it, what's happening? And then he let the ball go, and I'm just watching this ball float in the air in slow motion. And I'm like, oh, is it gonna be overthrown? Is it gonna be overthrown? Is it gonna be overthrown?
It's gonna be underthrown.
Underthrown, yeah. Like any, and then I saw it, and Pierce slowed down. Of course, that thing hit his hands, and I said, oh, it's on and popping. He took care of the rest, man. Shout out to Pierce. One catch, 58 yards.
Yeah, those are one of the plays where it's like the Seahawks-Patriots game. Last play of the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Russell Wilson, if he hits that thing, that little slant, and the corner doesn't intercept it, it's going to be, oh, Pete Carroll's a genius. Yep. I can't believe he drew that up right there. But if the opposite happens, which actually did happen, it is the biggest, most questionable call of any Super Bowl, any Super Bowl drive, game-winning drive. But yeah, that would have been bad. Like you said, Jamal, you're like, play action 31, blah, blah, blah. But it ended up being really well. And, 58-yard bomb, Steichen jaws it up. Look great. I mean, defensive coordinators, they're not, I guess they should, maybe not hope for, but like be on the lookout for those types of plays. But it's 3rd and 1. You need 1 yard to move the chains. You're not looking for a 58-yard bomb, but it happened. That's why Steichen is a genius. But shout out to Alec Pierce. 1 catch the entire game. But I've always pinned Alec Pierce as that deep ball specialist. He did his job. He's not going to be the guy that's going to have 10 receptions for 100 yards a game. This is what he's really good at. This is why I believe he runs the most go routes of any receiver in the NFL right now. Mm-hmm. So we can't compare Alec Pierce to Michael Pittman or things like that. It's a different style of receiver, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And he did what he's supposed to do. Of course, as I said before, I still like to see him get more targets. Obviously, I know you can't target him on every go, but I he's a deep ball specialist. But maybe I want to see that route tree open up a little bit more for him. I like to see what Reggie Wayne could do with that route tree for him. Still going deep, still because we need somebody who's going to be able to catch the ball 30 plus yards. I mean, there's no doubt about it. 25 yards. We need somebody who can get out there and do it. So I would like to see him get more targets, get more opportunities. And that's why I'm saying that if that means we have to open up his route tree a little bit more to allot him more opportunities, then yes, be it. Because there have been plenty of games where Pierce has gotten 0 targets or he's gotten 1 target and he didn't catch it. And then we're like, dang, he was a non-factor. But we can see right here with this 1 target he had, he made it count. So I would like to see him get 3 or 4. Not saying he's going to catch them all, but let me see that young man get 3 or 4. And I know it'll probably change when Richardson is in there. He can just sling that rock to him like you mentioned earlier. But I think it's out of respect thing for Pierce, you got to give him an opportunity to get a couple more targets in those games.
Yeah. I thought you were going to kill Pierce, but
Nah.
I hear you. Yeah. I mean, some people think we shouldn't keep Alec Pierce long term, but we're not going to talk about that.
We'll get into that later. We'll talk about that another night. We have to do a live stream for that one. All right, go ahead. Sorry, keep going.
Josh Downs, like we already talked about earlier, really big catch. He had 2 catches. Didn't really have to throw a lot this game.
Mm-hmm.
Gardner Minshew threw it 23 times. We didn't even rule the time of possession, but it was just more that we ran the ball more. We ran the damn ball. Like
thank Jesus.
Yes, it happened. And Jonathan Taylor was the factor. 21 carries, 96 yards. He almost had that 100 piece we were asking for. Had the touchdown, efficient running. Mm-hmm. Especially in that third quarter when we were just running the ball. And Trey Sermon came in, popped off for a great run. Look, what is it? Pass the score, run to win? Shane Steichen said it right, baby. Yeah. This team looked solid today. This unit looked solid. Offensive line, I thought played well. Blocking, not just from the offensive line, but from our wide receivers. I think that gets overlooked. Like Michael Pittman's a good blocker. Alec Pierce is a good blocker. Like these guys can move defenders. And Quentin Nelson too. I'm tired of people. Whenever Quentin Nelson has like an average game, people shit on him. And it's not fair. This man, like, especially when they get this man moving as a lead blocker, Quentin Nelson be demolishing people. And y'all got to put some respect on him because my man's still killing it. One of the best draft picks by Ballard. Like I'm loving it.
All I'm gonna say to that real quick is I always told you, like I always mention Eric whenever we talk about this stuff like that, especially people like him. The fans have been spoiled. The Colts have been spoiled by great guard play. So when he's playing par with the rest of the league, you're like, what is this? This is garbage. When he's playing par with the rest of the league, I'm not talking about when he's playing with Zach Martin and Quentin Nelson level. I'm talking about when he's playing par with the other 64 guards, I guess it is, in the league. They're like, oh, he's just playing okay. No, this dude is playing elite all the time. Even when he's playing to the par level, it's still elite play for him.
Yeah.
So we got it. Like you said, you got to keep respect on that name, man. You have to.
Yeah. And we're keeping respect on that name right here. Shout out to Quentin Nelson. I mean, shout out to this entire offensive line group. I hate to see an injury to Ryan Kelly again. It's like every game we cannot have a healthy offensive line game, and that's going to be our Achilles heel. I'm hoping he's okay. But like Ryan Kelly has been playing phenomenal this year. Bounce back of a season from last year. So shout out to them. Hopefully he's healthy for next week because next week is a big game. Tight end group playing pretty solid. I have to admit, I feel like Steichen, he's always trying to get them involved. And I'm talking to every tight end, not just in the blocking game, in the receiving game, all of them. Mo Cox, Colin Granson, Will Mallory. I would name one other tight end, but right now, reserve your judgment about Andrew Ogletree until all the facts come out. I like to give the benefit of the doubt. We've seen this happen plenty of times where people get accused of something or not all the facts have come out, and we just we just tear down that person. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person. So we'll see what happens. But look, even without Ogletree, I think we have a pretty solid tight end group, and it's showing. Like Granson and Mallory, they're fighting over who's the best receiving tight end, because Will Mallory is he looking kind of legit.
Yeah.
Colin Granson, last game he showed out with some beautiful catches. But I mean, they fight for it, and I like to see these tight ends get involved.
I agree. And yeah, especially when we think about, like you said, with Mallory and Granson, I'll be the first person to tell everybody. I thought Mo Ali Cox was going to get cut before the season started. I said we have a tight end room full of 86 tight ends. We don't need any more. We got to start trimming the fat somewhere. And I said it. I was like, Mo's gonna get cut. We got too much young blood in there to have to worry about keeping him on.
He's too good of a blocker.
He's a great blocker, and I think that with the way that this team has utilized tight ends, I think he's here to stay, at least for what it's worth. But man, like it's nice to see that we have a rotation of tight ends where it's just constant. Someone can get in there and make plays. Like and we can. I know that Mallory isn't as great of a blocker, but Granson's a good blocker. Mo Ali Cox is obviously the best blocker we have. But it's nice to see that we can kind of input any of those guys in there, and they can block for what it's worth, but they also can go out for the pass and get us these chunk, 15, 20-yard plays. So shout out to them, because I was nervous when we had a legit room of 6 tight ends. I'm like, what do we need all this for? I mean, it's gonna be interesting how they use Jelani when he's back. If whatever happens to Ogletree, what happen, however that goes, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens across the board.
Let's just draft Brock Bowers in the first round and
listen, dog,
increase competition within the tight end group. I think that would be perfect. I think that'd be great.
Let's take the young man.
Yeah, I will say special teams. They got some work to do. No, I'm not calling for Brian Mason's head, but they got some work to do. Roughing the kicker cannot happen. That really sucks. EJ Speed, I will say, is a boneheaded play, because that killed another great defensive series by the Colts, and that led to points for them. So don't like that. I don't like Josh Downs fair catching it on our own 6-yard line on a punt. You just let that thing go, and hopefully we can get a touchback out of it. But because whether we're at the 6 or the 3, I don't really care, because we're already backed up into our end zone. But just small tweaks to the special teams unit. That's all we got to do. Matt Gay, he got a mulligan, but that's all I'm going to say. He got a mulligan. He 100%, but he got a mulligan at that time. Oh, man. I don't want to talk bad about him.
He was batting 1,000 pregame, and that's why I was like shocked when he missed that, because pregame, I mean, he was hitting hit it from the 50 on both sides, and I was like, okay, all right, he's looking good. So I was a little shocked when that happened.
Matt Gay, I'll be honest, he's not playing up to his contract. He's not, and y'all might not agree with me on that, but he's shooting every 5 field goals, he's missing 1. That's not great. 81.1%. That's not great for accuracy standpoint. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was one of the most accurate kickers like in the league when we signed him. So this just isn't great. But that was probably one of the not obvious sore spots today. Is like, it's a 50-yarder. Matt Gay can hit this. Like he's done this plenty of times in his career, and it just didn't work out. But then he got to go again. But that's what I'm worried about, because we're going to be using Matt Gay a lot. This offense will stall out, unfortunately. We don't have a big powerhouse offense with Minshew leading it, but that's why Matt Gay's got to come in and get us some points,
Oh, for sure.
But hey, shout out to this team, Indianapolis Colts. Demolished the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't care if it's a 3-point game.
Raider Nation, bro.
Yeah, Raider Nation, bro. Dude, hold on. Let me. Can I read some of these comments that
were talking greasy?
Yeah, it was really weird too. I mean, all publicity is good publicity for our podcast, though. I will say
for sure.
But I mean, they came in like a swarm. It was crazy. Raiders. There's only one nation, Raiders Nation. It's always been Raiders Nation. Did we We didn't even talk bad about them.
Nah, we respected them. We was like, yeah, they playing real good right now. Oh, why you talking nice about me? Calm down.
Pierce, I even said, I was like, wow, he's done a great job with this team. Like it's been crazy, but I guess they heard Colts Nation and it went in 1 year, out the other. They started formulating their thoughts. They was like, yo, fuck the Colts. Colts Nation, what a joke. Well, we didn't lose on Sunday. People, what else? Colts Nation, oh my God, how sad. It's just like this is what creates a bad fan base, and I won't forget this. I don't like Raiders fans anymore because they're the only team that's done this on a Colts podcast. I don't know. That's just something it stuck out, and I was waiting. It wasn't an if. I said, when the Colts beat the Raiders, I'm gonna come in with this fire, baby. And it's just funny. So you guys are in my top 3 most hated NFL fan bases now. So congratulations.
Grand opening, grand closing.
All right. You got anything else, Jamal?
That's it for me, man. Let's roll into the new year with a dub. How about that?
Dub. 2024, here we come, because we about to make a Super Bowl run. You know what I'll say? Let me stop talking before I jinx us for Houston next week. Hey, that's gonna be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts, and we'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content.
Take care. Happy New Year. Enjoy it.